Bittensor family, it's Jeremy, aka School of Crypto, bringing you another Bittensor video. So I had a journey with Bittensor starting in 2023, where I first learned about it on this Block Runner YouTube channel. So I kind of got into the whole BRC20 Bitcoin sidechain kind of meta a couple years ago, and so that was the reason why I started watching their videos. And then they brought up this AI project named Bittensor, so I listened to the video. I went to the website. It was like a cool hand-drawn rotating sphere on the front page of the website. I'm like, whoa, this looks pretty interesting. Came to find out it wasn't on any exchanges that I could purchase it on. So I kind of just forgot about it and left it as is and kind of just moved on. And then kind of fast forward to earlier this year, I basically, went back to the drawing board and researched Bittensor again. I kind of felt like the AI meta was going to be the big sector for crypto as a whole. So I figured Bittensor was the number one AI project. I want to look more into this. So I just kind of dug deep and into the weeds and went on YouTube like I kind of originally did back in 2017, just kind of learning about Bitcoin, learning about Ethereum, learning about, at the time, Neo and, all those projects that were hot back in the day. And I went to a video of an interview that Jacob Steves did with somebody who's the founder of Bittensor, Kantz, aka Kantz. And he basically blew me away. This guy, just the, intellectual, know-how that he has with machine learning and compute and engineering, very philosophical, spoke with a lot of conviction, very passionate. He just came across as someone this is someone I can believe in. This is somebody that is in it for the right reasons. And, he was kind of talking about his lore a little bit, how I think he was working for a government agency with neuro engineering, and then he learned more about Bitcoin, and he joined some sort of underground cult community who's really into Bitcoin and some Dogecoin guys, and he kind of met some people that kind of delved into the whole narrative of the use cases of crypto and Bitcoin, and he kind of just fell in love with the whole infrastructure, and then that led him to create Bittensor, or the idea of Bittensor. I believe it was 10 years ago. Then he launched the project about 5 years later. So I thought that the lore and the dude was just on point, and it was man, I really believe in this guy, and I want to look more into it. So I ended up seeing an interview that Laura Shin did on her podcast Unchained with I think Sammy, who's he runs a fund, a Bittensor fund. I think it's called Unsupervised Capital. And then Joseph Jacks, he runs a venture capital fund called OSS Capital. So they were the guests on her podcast, and they just came across as very smart, very intellectual, really articulated the mission statement of Bittensor, of that incentivized compute type of platform, and it really kind of boded with me in terms of the potential that it had in terms of being able to democratize AI and make it something that can be accessible to the world, and something that can be scalable, and something that anybody can contribute to, whether you're a miner, validator, staker, you can have a part of this network, so I thought that was a really good interview that really kind of just sparks a little bit more conviction to me in the project. And then, like I saw a Raw Paul video, who's a, big time influencer, investor, in the crypto sector. He had Barry Silbert on, and if you don't know Barry Silbert, he was like a very early stage Bitcoin investor. Believe he worked with Grayscale, who basically brings institutions into, crypto with certain funds. So like he hit it out of the park with Bitcoin. He was an early investor in Zcash. If you guys don't know about Zcash, I mean, it was like $20 like a few months ago, and now it's like almost up to 700. It's like Zcash season right now. It's crazy. But like, my point is that, Barry, has just like a long-standing track record in crypto, and like identifies projects early and really does well with them, based on just like the research that he does and the fundamentals that, he kind of gathers and really backs these projects to, to have them go pretty high in market cap. So, with his conviction in Bittensor and saying that he hasn't been excited more about a project since Bitcoin, when he was referring to Bittensor, I was like, man, there's like something to this, and then you have, James Altucher, like he was another guy that, pounded the table for Bitcoin, like early on in like 2013, goes on CNBC, everybody's laughing like, what's this guy talking about? Like, this like cryptocurrency, this like digital gold, like, they kind of like looked at it as a joke, but, he, really had an understanding of the fundamentals and the power of Bitcoin, and, being able to have a trustless, permissionless digital currency that's open 24/7, that's, backed by a ton of hash power. So like, he developed that conviction. He felt the same way with Bittensor, and he's one of these guys like him, Joseph Jacks, like a few other guys, like they say like, Bittensor can potentially surpass Bitcoin. Like, I personally don't believe that. I think Bitcoin's kind of just like in a class by itself, but that just goes to show like how passionate these guys are, about the project. And then like, honestly, like I just went on Twitter and Reddit and watched some more YouTube videos and just got a sense of like the community and just like how many brainiacs there were, in this cult, and how many passionate people there were, in this project that like really, really believe it, have a real sense of the opportunity and the potential that Bittensor has. So I just kind of like felt like, man, like, these things are really gelling together for me in terms of just like having a bunch of people who come across as very intellectual, very smart, very well put together, coming to the same conclusions, So then I kind of felt, like this is, there's something to this, and I really want to dedicate a lot of time just, not only investing in it, but just kind of delving more into the ecosystem and learning more about, what it stands for, what it promises to do, and what it's building. And that, for me, like, those are the cool projects to like be invested in, and to ultimately just like, kind of ingrain yourself in, like finding a project that you can go down the rabbit hole and you just keep going, you keep going and you keep learning and you keep getting more and more excited because you recognize that the potential and the upside is just astronomical, So like, and I think like for anything, right? Like any sort of investment, whether it's in crypto, equities, metals, whatever, you want to have that like gut feeling that this is something that is here to stay, and something that, has the potential to go mainstream. And like, so for me, just to kind of wrap it up, it was really like, it all starts from the top, and just like seeing constant, again, like he just has that aura, he's got that aura. He's he's not afraid to get in somebody's face. He's not afraid to just stand what he believes in. And, you know, he just has like between like the, you know, intellect, integrity, bravery, optimism, forward thinking type of personality. I'm just like, man, you know, I stand by what this guy is doing, and I believe that he's going to do things the right way. And then again, the people who are backing it, Silbert, Altucher, Jax, Sammy, all these guys, you know, they're they have some pretty high standing within the crypto circle. So, and then again, the community, right? And everybody that's kind of like ingrained in this project. So, you know, that is what sold me on Bittensor, you know, just like those three things for the most part. And I'm just trying to do my part in helping people understand what this project is, where it can go, and how we can all kind of contribute to the cause, you know. And that's basically democratizing, decentralizing AI, compute, and non-AI projects into this like big, scalable incentivization machine that can really like reinvent what a business is, what entrepreneurship is, and having anybody kind of have a ticket to the show, you know. So yeah, like that's what sold me on Bittensor. I'd be interested to hear how you guys kind of got in the project. Like, you know, who did you listen to? Like, what did you read? Like, what are some things that kind of got you interested in this project, and like, why do you think it'll succeed, or maybe why don't you think it'll succeed? Like, definitely let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm at 12 videos in a row, so like I'm a little micro creator right now, so I gotta post a lot of content to compete with the big boys. But yeah, just trying to help you guys out and giving you some original insights almost every day. So thanks for your time. Hope you have a great day. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.